I think that to sell something fundamentally new is much more likely if it's B2D, if you're selling to the individual practitioner and they're giving pull. And that is because just this is a class of worker that can't really, that's creative, that's talented, that there's a tremendous supply demand disparity. So we have, as engineers, we have tremendous freedom to kind of write our own ticket and go where we want. And so and frankly, we're the only ones technical enough to know what tools help us. So when we go to the bosses and tell them what we need, we tend to get it. And if a boss comes to us and says, here, I bought this tool for you, and we don't want it, we're kind of like, they can make us. So I think that we'll probably see that same kind of thing in data science and machine learning. And so I really like the B2D kind of business model for something that an individual is going to use. I think it doesn't have to be open source, but I think often that can be helpful for gaining loyalty and gaining mind share. And I think proving value just comes down to the experience of the person using it. And do they feel more productive, and do they feel that it gives them value? And I think that you can help them, once you have like a lot of grassroots adoption and you're helping them kind of roll it up into doing a site-wide license or whatever, like then you can come along with ROI studies about productivity or time savings or whatever. But I think that just having a product people love is the key in that sort of B2D sale. If it is something that is more of an enterprise-wide sale because it involves, collaboration, it's a standard that everybody has to agree on, or it's sort of AutoML or a data ingestion platform, or just something that's sold more at a corporate level than an individual level, then I think that it has to be a little bit more of an ROI-led story. And I think that what I'm seeing is, people have their hair on fire. They're chasing tons of different problems. Cost savings alone is not enough because there's infinity ways they could try to save money. So it has to stand out as addressing one of their top few problems. And I think in particular, you have to look really hard at what people are getting from their cloud provider, from Amazon, Google, or Microsoft, because by and large, especially enterprise IT, seems default disposed to, hey, I'm not trying to innovate on having better tools than everybody else. I'm just going to take what Google gives me or what Amazon gives me or Microsoft. And so you can absolutely still carve out space for yourself. I think Snowflake's a great example of that as a startup who's providing something that is, now competing head on with cloud providers and winning. But it becomes much more about unique differentiation, a functionality they cannot get anywhere else that they feel that they've got to have.